Hey there, how's it going? Hope you're doing well today. My name is Greg, this is Dad Rock and Guitars, and today we're going to talk about 28 different ways to play a G major chord, and we're going to talk about why you would even want to do that. So make sure you hit like and subscribe while the intro is rolling, and let's get started. If you play guitar, and I'm assuming you do since you're watching this video, right? You're probably really familiar with the standard open G major chord. It's the one that's in all the how to play guitar books, and it's usually one of the first chords we learn. And it looks a little something, sounds a little something like this. And that's a perfectly good and valid G major chord, right? It's got all the parts of a G major chord. It sounds like a G major chord. It's been used a million times in songs. You've heard it a million times. You've probably played it a million times. And for being honest, that might be kind of part of the problem, right? It's just that G major chord. Let's say you're writing a song and the last 30 songs you wrote all use that G major chord, and you're looking for something a little bit different. It has a different flavor, different sound, a little more unique, whatever it is, different vibe. Or let's just say that you don't write songs, you're just playing and you're tired of playing that same G major chord and you're just looking for something different. Well, you could start adding some different notes. You take that G major chord, and then you could add an F sharp to make it a G major 7. And you have this. Or you could do an F and have the flat 7 to make it a G7 chord. Or you could add an A to it and make it like a G add 9 kind of situation. And those are all cool chords that are used a lot. I use those all the time too, but maybe that's not the sound you're looking for. Maybe they sound a little too complex or a little too jazzy or whatever it is. You're looking for just a straight G major chord sound. Well, that's where being able to play a bunch of different versions of the G major chord come in handy, because each one of them is going to sound a little different, have a different feel, different vibe. It's going to sit in the chord progression a little bit differently, and being able to know a bunch of different ways to play that is going to give you a different palette of sounds and things to use to make your song have a certain feel. Or maybe you can make it sound a little darker and a little, I don't know, more mellow or melancholy, or you could use it to make it sound brighter and happier, just depending on which kind of G major chord you choose. And also, before we get any further, I wanted to let you know I'm leaving a link in the description down below, and that takes you to my website where you can grab the tab for all 28 versions of the G major chord that I'm going to be playing today. So if you want to grab that and follow along, you can, or if you just want to have that as a reference or for practice later at home, make sure you grab that tab. And if you have any questions, make sure you leave those in the comments down below. Happy to answer questions. And of course, if you have like an aha moment and something clicks, and let us know about that too. All right, so now it is time to run through all 28 of the G major chords that we've been talking about. Couple things to keep in mind. First of all, I'm going to be playing these in order of that download I was talking about, so make sure you grab that so you can follow along. And then also a couple ground rules about these chords. First thing is that they're going to be either fully strummed chords, stuff like that, or they're just going to be 3 strings next to each other. That kind of thing. We're not going to get into like skipping strings and a bunch of weird finger positions and all that stuff. These are all going to be very usable versions of the chord that you can use in your songs and you're playing fairly easily. Another thing to keep in mind as we do these, a lot of these chord shapes we're going to be doing are going to be pulled straight from the chords you already know. So this open G chord, they're going to be pulled from there, or this G bar chord right there, or this one up here. They're kind of going to just be broken down versions of that. Some are not going to be. They're going to be outside of that. But a lot of them are going to be just broken down versions of those. So that'll make it easier for you to see. And as you start applying these to like C major chords or A major chords or whatever it is, it's going to make it easier for you to transition to those as well. All right, so now it's time for all 28 versions of the G major chord. Here we go. So let's take a look at a few examples of chord progressions where using the different ways of playing these chords can really shape the way it sounds and set the feel and mood. Now for this example, we're just going to use a basic chord progression with G major, C major, and D major chords, and we're going to use the same chord progression each time, but we're just going to play them using the different chords, and you'll get a sense of how different the vibe and feel can really be. We're going to start with the open chords. Sounded pretty good, sounded like it should, sounded great, but maybe that's not the sound you're going for. So let's try a different one. Same chords, same chord progression, same basic strumming, just played with different versions of these chords. So that sounded definitely different. If you notice, we even had kind of a walking bass line going down. That was kind of cool. Let's check out something. This is kind of something I've been really digging on lately, is these really low sounds right here. So same chord progression. So that had a much kind of more darker, more ominous kind of thing. Let's try something a little more kind of brighter feel, I guess. Right up here, same chord progression again. Alright, so definitely had a different feel. So you probably noticed also that when I was playing, I did a little kind of thing like that. And as you play these in different areas, it allows for different opportunities like that, just to add a little extra something in there, just to make it a little more interesting and things like that. And so another benefit of learning to play these chords in different ways. Alright, so that was all 28 ways to play the G major chord. Again, there are a bunch of more ways, especially if you start skipping strings and adding different notes. You can really go crazy with it, but these are 28 that I think are accessible, easy to remember generally, and easy to use and play and to work into your guitar playing. So that's why I chose these. Again, a few strategies to start remembering these. First of all, get that tab that I was talking about on my website. Click that link in the description down below to get that. But also, take chords you already know and break them down into like groups of 3 strings. And then do that maybe for the A major. And then start seeing how those things relate to each other. And as you dive into those and kind of sit with them for a while and really explore, they're going to start kind of gelling and making sense. And things are going to kind of start coming together. And again, as always, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Happy to answer questions. Make sure you get that tab. Link is in the description down below. Follow me on Instagram. Check out my website, dadrockandguitars.com. And yeah. Again, thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.